Hey, good morning everyone. I'm gonna keep this intro short because I woke up this morning and I've been bombarded by so much information and changes that are going to happen to the current servers, which is Burning Crusade, and to the upcoming Wrath of the Lich King expansion. They're changing a lot of things. There's a lot of news surrounding beta, surrounding the possible hint to a release date, surrounding all of the changes that they're going to implement into the game. So one of the first changes that they announced was that they're going to get rid of boosting. So whenever you see like Paladins boosting and Stratholm, probably Mara, probably Slave Fans, you are probably no longer going to be able to buy those boosts or to sell them if you're someone who sells them, as they will try to increase the snare slash root. They were going to try to reduce the XP between player levels and so on, similar to how they did it in Season of Mastery. And apparently they're saying here that it's been to a certain degree successful with removing that. They're going to put something else, but we're going to talk a bit later about that. So they've got a lot of feedback about this, and they show it themselves. And it's also no secret that the gold from the many boosting groups, it's used for illicit activities such as real money trading. As much as the gold that players pay to booster is then sold for real money back to players. I know this is like a controversial topic, but isn't that the same thing for gold EKPs? You know, you can see exactly the same thing about gold EKP. Now that we've seen the final major content release of Burning Crusade Classic, we will soon adjust the behavior of creatures in most dungeons, including the new dungeons coming in Wrath of the Lich King, to make it significantly more difficult to endlessly snare and kite enemies. Additionally, we will implement a reduction of group XP earned when there is a large disparity between player levels in the same group. We'll plan to roll these adjustments to Burning Crusade Classic realms at the same time as the Joyous Journey XP buff, which should be happening anytime soon in the next week. So we're going to talk about the Joyous XP buff soon. This is also a good opportunity to remind everyone that spamming chat channels with advertisements for boosting in trade channels, it's against the terms of service. Oh my god. You should take every opportunity to report players that you see advertising for boosting services in channels such as general and looking for group. Oh my god. So basically, you're no longer allowed to spam that you sell boosting, neither in the general chat, neither in the looking for group chat. Maybe with Sash Yell. I don't know, but we're looking forward for players joining us in the Wrath of the Lich King beta and hope to be able to share that very soon as well. Okay, so this is the big piece of information that we saw, and then they were talking about the Joyous Journey XP buff, which we're going to get into right now. As we continue to work on Wrath of the Lich King Classic, we want to celebrate the defeat of Kil'jaeden and the Burning Legion again, with a bit of special event to help players get ready for their adventures in Northrend. In the coming weeks, we will implement a global buff that we're calling Joyous Journeys. During the time this buff is active, all sources of experience points will be awarded 50% additional XP. 50% additional XP? It's quite something. It's gonna shave, like, if you normally do, let's say, 6 days to level 70, that means with a 50% XP buff you can shave like how much, 2 days? I'm bad at math, but it's definitely gonna matter, because this 50% additional XP buff will be implemented to mobs grind and through questing as well. I think it's I would have preferred here 100, but 100 I think is too much to catch up, but it's great for new players, for returning players. It's great if you plan to level on alt, and it's definitely going to be great for the fresh servers. So let's see, we haven't locked down the specific time frame when this buff will activate, but we expect it to last for at least 6 to 8 weeks. So that means they're planning to put it before the pre-patch and before the launch of the fresh server. There we go, beginning a few weeks before the 3.4 pre-patch and persisting right up until the day that Wrath of the Lich King launches. So after the launch is going to be, it's only for 1 to 70 to catch up and to level alts and for new returning players. This buff should provide a great opportunity for everyone who may have fallen behind the leveling curve, or anyone with alts that they want to prep for the next adventure, to jump and get caught up to level 70 ahead of the release of Wrath of the Lich King. This is great news, guys. If you plan to come back to the game now, if you caught a bit of that hype, this is the time. And I can level even 2 characters now. Ooh, let's go, or 3. There's content for me, there's content for you. This will also be active on Wrath of the Lich King Classic Fresh Realms at start. So it should be a great jumpstart for any players who want to level quickly during pre-patch to participate in the various Wrath of the Lich King events such as Zombie Plague or special time limited bosses such as Balzaphon and Stratholm or Tenris, Murkblood and Karazhan. Sweet. While we aren't quite ready for announced specific dates around Wrath Classic, we felt it might be helpful to let you know ahead of time this buff was coming. Event buff. We have more to share around Wrath of the Lich King Classic launch in the coming weeks. Thank you. So basically here, they said they're going to apply the buff very soon, in a few weeks. That means in a few weeks, could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So that means before mid-June, they're going to put the buff in for about 6 to 8 weeks. So in the next few weeks, let's say 10 to 15 June, and then 6 to 8 weeks from that, that means we're going to get Wrath of the Lich King. If the buff is gonna last for 6 to 8 weeks, we're gonna get it late August. Oh my god. So late August or beginning of September, we're gonna get Wrath of the Lich King. Exactly how I predicted. Everyone was done. Now, Frost, you're naive. It's gonna come October. But you have to understand that Dragonflight, the new expansion, is going to be released this year. December or something like that. So that means Blizzard is going to push Wrath of the Lich King because late August, in my opinion, because of the shareholders. They need to up their numbers in terms of sales for this quarterly earnings. So I think late 27th of August, maybe 28, 29, somewhere like just like Classic was released, end of summer. It's simple, right? The buff is going to come in a few weeks and it's currently 22nd of June. That means 10th of July. Then 6 to 8 weeks from 10th of July for pre-patch and the ending of this buff. Then you have Wrath of the Lich King release. It might even be half month of August, like 15th of August or something like that. It's crazy. Okay, so there's a lot of things coming soon. Moving on to the last piece of information, big one. There's going to be a revamp for the Dungeon Finder tool. So a lot of you heard news that Dungeon Finder will be removed in Wrath of the Lich King. Apparently they went and they redesigned it. And they're going to have a new look, a modern code. It's going to look something like this. As you can see here, there's a screen. We're going to get to test it in the beta, but it's going to be more... I don't really like it though. I think they should have taken the code from the tool called Group Bulletin Board. But hey, I have to test it first to see exactly what's going to be. One of the things that really got me here, it's going to be like different. You're going to list yourself. You won't be able to send messages in the looking for group chat unless you are listed into the group finder. So basically they're trying to forcefully implement this one if you want to look for a group. So we're aiming for this group finder UI to be a one-stop shop for all your group finding needs. To that end, we're reviving an old rule from the original Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. Sending messages and looking for group chat channel will require being listed in the UI. So you cannot really spam anymore the looking for group chat when it comes probably to setting boosts and so on. Well, you can always spam by putting yourself, but that's a different story. That's gonna get you banned. So solo listings and multiple activities, roles, this is how it looks. Heroic dungeons, raids, it pretty much looks the same. It just has a lot of more options here, and we're going to get to test it on the beta and see if we like it. I really hope it's gonna be useful. They want to keep the social aspect intact. I'm looking forward for the beta. I think that the beta might come sooner than we think. It might even be in the next following days, next 5 days. So stay tuned, guys. If there's any keys that I will be able to give, I'm going to try to do, if it's a possibility. We have no news, but last time when we had like a Burning Crusade beta, I was able to give a bunch of keys to my community. We're going to probably host an event on Twitch or something. Make sure to follow me at twitch.tv/Frostadamus in case we get that. In case not, well, I'm probably still going to stream it. Hopefully a lot of us will get beta access. We gotta play together. We gotta test it together. We're gonna test the new Dungeon Finder tools and so on. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about those changes in the comments down below. And as always, until next time, stay frosty. Bye-bye.